start. In this lesson, we're going to talk about technique and what I think are the 4 primary wrist strokes that every drummer needs to know. The first one is called the free stroke or the full stroke or the throw, a lot of different names for it, but essentially, or the piston stroke is another one that might actually be the most appropriate. But the basic premise is you start with the stick as vertical as you can make it, as far as your wrist can extend, and you want to snap the wrist down with the maximum velocity and allow it to rebound right back up to where it started, just like a piston. So do a free stroke, it's just one motion, right? So you don't pause at the bottom and then lift. You allow it to rebound right back to where it started, right? That's called the full stroke or the free stroke. Do it with both hands. Now, what happens when you want to go from a high note to a low note, where you do a technique that's called the downstroke? And all that is you play a free stroke, but the moment that the stick hits the pad, you just squeeze your fingers in a little bit to stop it low like this. So you do a full stroke, but instead of letting it rebound, you squeeze at the bottom. I'm not really tight, I'm just enough to stop the stick. So that's the downstroke. Starts high, ends low. Downstroke. Downstroke. So here's an exercise. You want to do 4 full strokes or 3 full strokes in a downstroke. 1, 2, 3, and then down. 1, 2, 3, down. Now you're low. And at this position, you can play taps. And a tap is nothing more than a free stroke, which is just played at a very low stick height. Same thing, you want to start and stop from the same position. I see quite often what happens is they end up becoming downstrokes where it's a lot of this double motion happening, which you don't want. It's just a low free stroke. That's the right, that's the left. Right, so we've gone from high, 2, 3, down. Now we can do low. Now I've got to get back up to here again. And that's called the upstroke. So you play a low tap, let it rebound, and then just move the wrist back to bring the stick back up. I think of it as if you touch a hot plate and you want to get your finger off right away. So I'm thinking up before I even hit the drum. That's the upstroke. So very simple exercise is 3 full strokes, 2, 3, a downstroke, and then 3 taps, and an upstroke. 1, 2, 3, down, tap, 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 up. Full, 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 down, tap, 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 up. 3, down, tap, 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 up. Other hand. 2, 3, down, tap, 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 up. Free, free, down, tap, 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 up. Right, and another good exercise is to just do downstrokes followed by upstrokes, which is the technique that you use a lot when you're playing 16th notes or like a pulse on the hi-hat. So you do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up. Now it's important to think about that this is almost, I would say like 85% wrist. Very little fingers. The fingers are just kind of long for the ride. I'm not squeezing the stick. I'm also not letting the fingers flare out. No arm other than just being relaxed and letting it do what it needs to do for each motion. But there's no whipping. There's also no finger action like this. The only time the fingers are really involved is for the downstroke. And that's just to lock the stick low. So it's all from the wrist. 1, 2, 3, down, tap, 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 up. 2, 3, down, tap, 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 up. And the other exercise, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Take it extremely slowly. You want to just focus on mechanics. Make sure every stroke is doing exactly what you want it to do. Nothing kind of nebulous in between taps and downstrokes and upstrokes. It's got to be either a really strict full stroke, a really strict downstroke, a really strict low free stroke called a tap, or a really strict upstroke, snap up. Nothing that kind of floats in between, right? And this is very physically demanding, so I wouldn't do more than like 10 minutes of this type of exercise per day. It's just like doing, it's just like lifting weights. You're training your wrist and your forearm and the reflexes, and they can get overworked really quickly. So just do a couple minutes a day, just to refine. Every day it'll get a little bit snappier, a little bit cleaner. And also keep in mind, it's maximum velocity stroke at whatever stick height you're at. Even if you're low, you don't just let it flop. It still needs to be a snappy, intense stroke. That's what gives you a really full, commanding sound, even at quiet dynamics. If you just let it flop, you start to sound a little weak, So that's it. So we do full, 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 down, tap, 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 up, full, 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 down, tap, 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 up. Exercise number 2, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's it. Have fun.